Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel. My name is Martin and today we're going to be taking a look at what I think is an absolute brilliant piece of gear. I love bits of gear that have dual purpose. So today we're going to be taking a look at a really ultra lightweight tent, shelter, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be taking a look at the Six Moons Gatewood Cape. So the Gatewood Cape is made by Six Moons Design in the USA and it is a dual purpose shelter. So it can be used as a shelter and it can also be used as a poncho as well, which I think is absolutely brilliant. And it weighs next to nothing. 312 grams, it packs down into its own little pocket there and it can be compressed even more. So as you can see there, it is a tiny little shelter. Right, let's open it up and see what's inside. So there's been a lot of thought gone into this. It really has. It really is multi-use. It's made out of a 15D sil nylon, which gives it a hydrostatic head of 1800 millimeters. And it's just lightweight, like I say, it's 312 grams. It packs down into its own little pocket, as you can see here. And we shall have a look at using it as a poncho first. So like a lot of ultralight gear, it's not going to be 100% waterproof until you seam seal it yourself. So make sure you get yourself some silicone seam sealer and just cover all of the stitching on all of the bits, all of the seams on the tent itself, and then it will be 100% waterproof. Right, let's take a look at it as a poncho. So the first thing you need to do if you're going to be wearing this as a poncho is in the top of the shelter here, you've got this color-coded harness, which is where your walking pole goes into. All you're going to need to do is just unclip all of those, so disconnect them from the top of the tent. You can actually leave just one on there and just have it tucked in the back if you want, just to keep it in place so you don't lose it. But we'll take this off completely, and then all you need to do is just pull the guide line through, and then using the carabiner just disconnect that from there, and then we're ready to put this on as a poncho. All right, let's see if we can get our head through the hole straight away. Right, there we are. Now on the sides there, you've got some little holes that your arms can come through. So we'll pull that through. The only thing is with a poncho is not going to protect your arms, is it? Because it doesn't have sleeves on it. And there we are. And then the hood's got a little drawstring on the front, so you can bring that up over your head, and then hunker yourself down inside. You've got easy access inside by the zip that's on the top there as well, so you can just pull the zip down and you can access your pockets and everything inside. And then also the pocket that you use to store the piece is inside there, so you've got a little pocket inside of there as well. But I think this is a really versatile bit of gear, you know, as a rain cover when you're out on the trail. If you're into your lightweight hiking, I think this is absolutely perfect. If you're doing, you know, multi-day hikes, I think this is a brilliant bit of kit that you can just utilize just to keep your weight down, so you've got a waterproof and you've got a shelter as well. So if you're concerned that your poncho is going to get caught on things, especially with your guy lines that are hanging off, what you can do is just take your guy lines, remove them, or inside your poncho you've got a little tiny pop inside of here. So all I'm going to do is just loop them over that, pop that down, and then you can see on this side here it's off the body compared to flapping around like it is on this side, and still you've got plenty of cover. So the first thing we're going to do is connect the hiking pole harness back up. So like I say, these are all color coded, as you can see here. And then we're just going to lay the tent out. So the zipper's at the front, so you want to be pitching this with the back to the wind. So first we're going to peg out the back. The guy lines themselves is just a simple piece of cord there with 3 knots in it. So you've got 3 different areas that you can actually stake this out with your peg there. So obviously up the top here is going to bring the tent quite close to the ground there if it's really raining loads. And then obviously the medium, and then the longest one there, that's going to lift the tent quite high. So it's going to gain a lot of access inside. So if you really need a little bit of ventilation inside of it, you can lift the tent up. And obviously you can make the tent slightly higher as well. So first we'll just peg out the back guy line And then we'll peg out the front 2 corners. And then if you've disconnected your front guy line, you just need to reattach the carabiner onto the loop on the bottom of the front of the tent. And then with your hiking pole, so your hiking pole needs to be set at roughly about 120 centimeters. Just push that underneath your tent and loop the spike from your hiking pole into the hole on the hiking pole harness. Then once the hiking pole's in the harness there, just push that underneath, get that fairly straight, and then just peg out your front guy line. So the front of the tent is attached to the guy line using that carabiner and a prusik knot on the actual guy line. So to tighten the front of the tent, all you need to do is just pull the prusik knot down to tighten up the front of the tent. You've got another gear loop on this side here as well, so you can actually tie the zip, the door of the tent onto there as well, and that will stop the tent, the zip, from opening up because there's no lock on the bottom of the zip there. So to tighten the tent up, just pull down on the prusik knot. And then we can take the side guy lines of the tent and just stake them out. And then with the hood, just bring the hood over the front, take the draw cord, cinch that closed, just make sure it's facing down like so, so any water runoff is going to run down the tent like so. So what you want to do now is literally just leave the tent about half an hour, just give it a chance for the material just to settle, and then we'll just retighten up all of the guy lines. Right, so we just tightened up the sides, so let's undo the door and have a look at how much space is inside. So we'll just take the loop from the door off the carabiner, and then you've got a little loop that will just hold the door open. So there's plenty of space laying on the floor. I've got enough headroom, but I think if I got a sleep mat, then I'm going to be very, very close to this. There's still plenty of room if I move this way, or I can bring my head this way. But what there is you've got these little tie-outs here. Now they do something on the inside and they do something on the outside as well. So let's take a look at what they do on the outside. So there's the outside gear loop that you've got there. So what you can do is, utilizing your other hiking pole and a length of paracord or a little bit of string or something, you can actually use this to bring this out. So once you've used the side guy line there, you can see you've got some lines down the side of your shelter here, so you're just going to want to adjust your side pegs. So how much space is that giving me? That's giving me loads of space, that has. So my face is not right in front of the fly sheet there, which is something that I really hate. Like using the Lanshan one, absolute brilliant little lightweight tent to be used with a hiking pole. But the one thing I hated about that was my face was this far away from the fly sheet there. But an absolute brilliant little shelter. Now something like this in the colder months, absolutely perfect. So far pretty impressed with it. There's enough room inside of there for me and a load of gear. My only concern is the head height there. You could in fact just draw your guy lines in a little bit and extend your main pole to give you a little bit more headroom there. But what I'm going to do now is let's set up a sleep pad and just put a sleep pad in, because obviously that's going to increase or decrease the amount of headroom that you're going to have when you've got a sleeping mat inside. Right, how are we with a sleeping pad? Still plenty of headroom there, loads of room. Right, now I can hear you naysayers, let's just get this Eastern European out of the way. I can hear you naysayers saying it's going to be absolutely no good in the summer when there's bugs around, and you're completely right. This is going to be an absolute bug fest in here. So this is a Serenity bug tent. So this weighs 292 grams. So this, alongside the Gatewood Cape there, you've got a tent there for 700 grams, which is really, really lightweight. So this will work on its own. If you're not expecting any rain and you just want protection from bugs, you can just set this up and have protection from the bugs using a hiking pole and some pegs as well. If you're camping in huts like these ones in Sweden, we were camping in here, you can put these up by tying them to the ceiling or using your hiking pole and pegging them out, whatever you can do just to get the actual bug tent up to protect you from the bugs there. So this works absolutely perfect and is designed to work with the Gatewood Cape. So let's get it set up. I haven't set it up as yet, so you just please bear with me while we get this put inside the Gatewood Cape. So the one thing to mention about the Serenity bug tent is the floor is not so durable. So in this environment with thorns and twigs, and even worse if you're in the mountains, you're going to want a footprint down. Now you can buy a footprint specifically designed for this, or what I do is just buy a piece of Tyvek sheet, cut that down to the right size for your footprint, and then just put that down. I know people say that, you know, it makes a lot of noise and stuff like that, but if you scrunch it all the way up, as much as you can scrunch it up, stick it in the washer dryer, and you'll lose all of that noise from it as well. And it's, you know, it's cheap and it's really, really durable. So to lay your bug net out, the piece with the logo, that needs to go at the front there. You've got your little loop to connect to your gear pole as well there. And then we'll just roughly put this in place, and then we can reach the peg outs from the outside. So we'll pull out the guy lines for the inner, and then these are elasticated, so we're just going to clip these onto the guy line. Now, one thing I've just noticed here is we've got our pole upside down here so that the spike fits through that little eyelet just up there, but it actually looks like it's going to be better if I turn the pole round the other way, because there's an eyelet at the bottom there and the actual handle will sit okay in the top of that. So I actually think it's going to be better to turn the pole round. Let's try that. And then now what we can do is we can put the spike inside that little eyelet on the bottom of the Serenity bug tent. So on the top of the bug tent, you've got a little clip, and then you've also got another clip there that has got a guy line on there as well. So you can actually take this off, and actually we can use that on the side of the tent. So what we're going to do now is just run this clip up to the top here and then clip that on there, closing the hood up. There we go. So there we go. That's the Serenity bug tent all set up inside of the Gatewood Cape. Let's just open it up and get a bed mat inside of there and see how the headroom is. So laying here flat, there's still plenty of headroom, but with a pillow, I'm probably going to be having that net on my face there. But I'd rather have the net on my face than the actual outer of the tent. But there's still plenty of space. I could slide down a bit further actually. So I'm at the end of that. And that's better, yeah, that's a lot better. So there's tons and tons of space inside of this little inner here as well. Got loads of room inside of there for my gear. You have also got a little zip on the side here as well, so you can actually put gear just at the back there as well. Not a great deal of space, but you can store some bits there as well. But yeah, this is a really, really good lightweight option that I'm really looking forward to giving a go. So in the UK, the Gatewood Cape retails at £194 and the Serenity Bug Shelter retails at £179. Now, you've only got one option to buy these products in the UK, thanks to the iron wall of Brexit. Six Moons Design don't actually ship to the UK, but if you go on to ultralightoutdoorgear.co.uk, you can purchase any of the Six Moons products from them. So I think this is an absolute brilliant bit of kit, and I'm really looking forward to using this on some future adventures. So thank you for watching this short little overview of the Gatewood Cape and the Serenity Bug Shelter by Six Moons Design. I'll stick more information in the description below. My name is Martin, and I'm into my hiking, my fishing, my bushcraft, and just generally being outdoors. Hopefully we'll catch you next time on the next one.